Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. So welcome back to my channel. It's so nice to be able to talk to you guys about books. I think I've said this before. I don't have a lot of people. Actually, the amount of people I have in my life that I can talk to about books is growing a little bit, but I still feel like I don't have that many people to talk about books with. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to my bull crap on all the books that I read. So thank you for tuning into this channel. So today, I know it's still June, but I wanted to, there's no way I'm going to finish any more books this month. There's only like 2 days left in the month. So I just wanted to do my June wrap up. And this month I only read 3 books. I wanted to read more than that because I had a really good reading month in May. I read 8 books, but it just ended up happening for me, and that's okay. I just want to let you guys know it doesn't matter if you read 1 book or read 20 books. Anything that you read is great. So don't put any pressure on yourself, and that's what I did. My goal for the month is to read 3 books, and I did that. So I'm proud of myself for doing that. I didn't even think I was going to make it to 3, and that would have been okay, but here we are. But before we get into the June wrap up, guys, I have to show you what I did. I have to show you what I did. So I remember my last video, I was telling you guys I was taking a trip to Barnes and Noble, and guess what I did? I did it. I did it, guys. Okay, so I bought The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and actually, this might be my next read. I am currently reading another physical book called Her Dark Lies by J.T. Ellison. And once I'm done with that, I think I'm going to pick up this one. I don't know. I'm just feeling the vibes. And for the longest time, I would pick this book up and I would walk around Barnes and Noble and I would just put it back like it wasn't my time. Um, and so I finally picked this up and I think that this is going to be my next read. So I'm so excited for this. And then I also got the Inheritance Games. Oh my gosh, guys, I have heard so many good things about this book. I am so excited. So I think what I'm going to do, not that you need to hear any of this either, but so I think I'm going to read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I think I'm going to read Love and Other Words after that. And then I think I'm going to read The Inheritance Games and then read either Archer's Voice or Every Summer After. I don't know. We will see. That's just kind of a little bit of my, I guess, July TBR. But I'm so excited for these 2 reads. I really am not sure how they blew past all these other books that I have on my bookshelf, but I plan on getting to them in July. I'm so excited. I heard so many great things about both of these books, and I'm just so excited. And then I also just wanted to let you guys know, for those of you who use Goodreads, they have, I don't know if you know this, but they do have giveaways that you can enter in for books that are new releases and things like that. And I know I talked about another one, Magpie, that I won a couple months ago, and I just won this other one. I won it, I think I got the email, I don't know, like last week or the week before. It's called The Disinvited Guest by Carol Goodman. And I'm really excited to read it. I don't know what it's about. You guys know. I judge a book by its cover. I literally enter in these giveaways based on their covers. I know it's a thriller, but that is pretty much all I know. And then I did not realize, but it's an uncorrected proof. So that's going to be interesting. I never read one of those before. I'm not really sure what the difference is, but I will let you know. This is probably not going to be a July read. But I will let you know when I read it how I feel about it. It seems like it's going to be a quick read, and it's pretty floppy. I don't really care for that, but it is what it is. So that is that. I just wanted to let you guys know that those giveaways are there. People do win them. I enter in a lot of them, and I've only won 2 books, so take that how you want. And I do know that they do have Kindle versions too of books that you can read, and I guess that they just go on your Kindle. I'm not really sure how that works, but I haven't won one of those books yet, but if I do, I will let you know. Okay, so with all that aside, let's get into the books that I finished in June. So the first one I finished, I think I was reading this at the end of May. Didn't end up finishing in May. I finished it in June. It is Not One of Us by Debbie Herbert. And I'm going to pull these up so that you can see what they look like on my Kindle. But let me just turn this brightness down a little bit for you because that kind of, okay. That's a little bit better. So Not One of Us is a brief synopsis is this: a woman goes back to her hometown to take care of her grandmother and her brother. I think her brother is autistic. Um, I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure he has autism, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's something like that. And his grandmother is taking care of him, but she's starting to get really bad dementia. And so I don't even remember what her name was. um, Let me look here. I'm so sorry, guys. Her name is Jory, is the main character. And um, I don't even know how many years ago it was. She was in high school and her boyfriend and his family just go missing. That's the first chapter in the book. It's just her like figuring out that the family goes missing, and then she goes back home, and like it's revealed where what happened to him and his family, and like all this other crazy stuff. So I gave this book a 3 stars. It was not my favorite. It kind of took me a very long time to get through it, which is why I didn't finish it in May. It was just kind of one of those things where I was reading it on my Kindle, like in my car on my lunch break, and then like I got close enough to the end where I just like finished it um, pretty quickly. The one thing I will say about it, I don't know if this is ruining anything or not. I think they say it in the first chapter, but if they don't, they say it like very quickly, like within the first couple of chapters of the book. So Jory apparently when people speak, she sees colors, and it was mentioned in the book, in the beginning of the book. We go through the book, and then like they mention it again at the end of the book. So it wasn't like I don't know. I just wasn't feeling that. Like that's not my vibe. I don't really know. So I mean, I didn't really think that it was that interesting. If it would have been more of like a bigger part of the book, like that would have been fine, but it like wasn't. It was just like mentioned in passing, and then at the end, but at the end, like it came up again, and like that was it. Like whatever, I don't know. I didn't really care for the book too much. It, like I said, it wasn't one of my favorites. I mean, you can still read it. I think I honestly downloaded it because the cover was so pretty, but it definitely was not one of my favorites. So that was the first book that I finished. The second book that I finished, which this one took me a long time to read too. I don't know what is taking me so long to read books, but it's just that kind of month. I read A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight, I think is her last name. Um, and this is actually funny. So my husband is friends with her nephew and asked me if I ever read any of her books. I have not. So I bought this one and I decided to read it. Now this one, the gist of this one is one of the main characters, his name is Zach. I don't think he's like a billionaire. I don't think he's like famous or anything, but he comes home from a party and his wife is dead. That happens like very quickly in the beginning of the book. I'm not spoiling anything. And it's just kind of going back through like um you get the lawyer's point of view, which I don't even remember what her name is, to be completely honest. And his wife's name is Amanda. And it goes through like Amanda's, like 4 days prior or 5 days prior is where the book starts from her perspective. And then obviously at the end you figure out what happened to her. Let me figure out who Lizzie is the name of the lawyer, and she actually went to law school with Zach. She went to college with him, so that's how he knows her. And it was pretty interesting. The one thing that I didn't care for, actually, I'm not really going to say that because I don't want to give it away, but there is something that is mentioned very quickly, and then it's just glossed over, and I feel like it's a very big part of the book. Like, I don't want to give it any spoilers, but I gave it 4 stars. It took me a little bit to read, but it was interesting. And to be honest with you, I was completely shocked by the ending. I was not expecting that. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Like, I still would recommend it. And I do want to read more of her books because, like, it did keep my attention. Like I said, it just wasn't like completely a 5 star read for me. But it was still very, very good. And honestly, I think if that part wasn't in there, that it was just like something was just glossed over, I think it would have been a 5 stars for me. But in the fact that it took me 3 weeks to read it, but I think I was just in a bit of a slump. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point. So the last book that I read this month, I literally just finished this book last night. Guys, I was shook. I could not believe that what was happening in this book. I had no idea that this was going to happen. It's fantastic. Anyway, it's The Arrangement by Kirsten Maudlin, I think is how you say her last name. Um, I already started the second book. It was so good. I highly recommend this. I gave this a 5 stars. Literally, I thought it was gonna start out one way and completely took a left turn. Like, insane. So I'll just give you a little bit of synopsis without trying to ruin anything. So the is dual POV. It goes back and forth between this husband and wife. His name is Peter. Her name is Ainsley, I think is how you pronounce it. And this is basically the first chapter of the book. She sits him down and she's like, you know, we're struggling in our marriage. Like, why don't you take Thursdays and I take Tuesdays and we go out and date other people and like see what happens from there. Well, they get themselves into a bit of a pickle, and then literally, if you read this book, the end of the book, literally did not see any of that did not see any of it coming. It was the most phenomenal ending. I have no words. I literally have no words. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I started a reading journal because of this book, because I don't know anybody else who has read it, and I just need to get my thoughts down. So I literally started a reading journal for this book so I could just write my thoughts down, because it was incredible. I was speechless. Like, I have never gasped so loud in my whole life. And it literally was in the last like 40 pages, like all hell broke loose. It was absolutely incredible. But anyway, so that was the last book that I finished. Like I said, I started reading the second one, which I believe is called The Atonement. And the cover looks exactly the same. Let me just pull it up so I can show you guys what it looks like. And I believe that the third book just came out too. And by the way, The Arrangement is on Kindle Unlimited for you guys if you have Kindle Unlimited, which again I highly recommend. It's $10 a month. I think it's $10 a month, and you get a bunch of free books. Like, you can't beat that. Yes, it's called The Amendment, and it looks very similar. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. And they're very short books. Like, they're I think the first one is like 203 pages, and this one is like 215. Like, they're super short. I'm super excited to get to the second one and then finish the series off, because I really need to know what happens. But that is all I have for you guys for tonight. I think within the next couple of days, since we are halfway through the year now, I think I'm gonna make a video on my favorite reads so far, and then at the end of the year, I think I'll do one for the second half. But like I said, that'll be within the next probably like week or so. I would say I'll be posting that. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and let you guys know I did make it to Barnes and Noble. I bought The Inheritance Games and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I just wanted to give you my June wrap up. So if there's any book recommendations that you have for me, if you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts. But until the next video, I'll see you guys later on. Have a great week.